And I thought that, I should share with you some good news. As a Tibetan, Tibetans, many of you know, Tibetans are very pragmatic, practical people. Our nature is such that we always hope for the best. And we also prepare for the worst. So, this president coming, again we're hoping that maybe something good will come. But at the same time, we are also prepared for the worst if nothing changes. Life goes on like that. But now for the Dalai Lama and for many Tibetans, what's going on today in Tibet is a big, 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 big problem. And something that I'd like to share with you today, as you are in some ways special friends of Tibet, because many of you are Buddhists, practicing Buddhism, you've met Tibetan lamas. We need support. And let's take Latvia, for example. In Latvia, it's the same as any other country. Perhaps 1% of your population, 2 million population, maybe even less, know something about Tibet or Tibet supporters. It's same in the United States, same in Britain. But in order to make a real change, we need a lot more support. Because politicians are not going to change. Because politicians always look, unfortunately, if we help Tibet, what are we going to get out of it? That's how they look. And it's sad, but that's the reality. So we need people like you also to help the Tibetans by contacting your member of parliament, for example. Making sure that your member of parliament know that you are concerned about what's happening in Tibet. And you have to urge your member of parliament to do something. Especially countries like Latvia and Lithuania, Estonia, memory is very fresh. It's only been 22 years since you got independence. So you know what it's like living under foreign occupation. And the other thing that you could also ask the question is, why is it that 107 Tibetans have self-immolated, yet if I walk down Riga and ask 10 people, I'm sure 8 out of 10 won't know anything. Maybe 2 will know. Why? Because even media is not reporting it. And politicians are ignoring it. Media is not reporting it. Why? Are Tibetan lives worth less than anybody else? If the self-immolation took place anywhere else in the world with 1 or 2, that's a big news. But with Tibetans, 107. Nobody cares. And because of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and his belief that Tibetan struggle has remained non-violent. Many of you know Tibetans are capable of creating violence. All you need is 1 or 2 frustrated, angry people. Could do a lot of damage. So the question that I sometimes bring up, not because it's not like a threat or anything, but I want people to start thinking. And recently I was in the Scottish Parliament, and in the Parliament I also said, why is the world ignoring the Tibetans? Is the world community trying to send a message to the Tibetans that if you want our attention, you have to be violent? Because right now you're too peaceful, too passive. So every day when I go to work and open my computer, I'm always fearing, what am I going to read today? another Tibetan has self-immolated. You know, it's the numbers now, number game. One day, who knows, one Tibetan will say, you know what, before me, 107 Tibetans have sacrificed themselves and given up their lives. The world still don't care. So I'm going to do something different now. I'm going to kill myself, but I'm going to bring along maybe 200-300 innocent people. It's very easy to do when you decide to kill yourself, to bring innocent people along. If that were to happen, then it'll be all over the newspaper, front page news. Everybody will know. And the Tibetans are terrorists, it's called. Most probably the Chinese government will kill all these people. So in some ways, I think world community is responsible for creating terrorists. Because what happened at 9/11 and all this, many of these terrorists are, when they were born, they're not terrorists. Somewhere along the line, they become terrorists. So today, when I meet a lot of young Tibetans, and I hear them talk, and I can feel their frustration, their anger, and many of them are educated, not in Tibet, they are educated in the world, where they are brought up to think that if you do something, you have to see the result right away. These young Tibetans don't want to wait for next life. And also, in some ways, to think, it's very sad to see somebody like the Dalai Lama, who has so much compassion and who wants good things for humanity, to see him fail in front of his own people. A lot of young Tibetans are asking His Holiness, Your Holiness, we love you, but your way of compassion is not working. Nobody cares. Tibet is dying. It's a very sad situation. So we are going through that difficult period, and as you know, Dalai Lama travels today 8 months out of a year. He's on the road. I travel with him in Northern Europe, and when he leaves, when he says goodbye, I'm very tired. But I'm thinking, His Holiness is still going. Why? Because he feels the burden of his people. He says, he thinks, if I stop traveling, people will forget Tibet. So he constantly travels, meets presidents, prime ministers, students, business people, whoever listens, he talks. So that's why in some ways I have a special request for those who are Buddhist practitioners, because I don't know about here in Latvia or elsewhere, but I've had few cases in Canada where some of the Buddhist practitioners, they would say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to get involved in politics. I'm only interested in spirituality. And that hurts. That hurts many Tibetans, because many Tibetans feel that the reason we have so many great lamas today is because of these simple Tibetan people who have supported monastic institutions all these years, where these great lamas and geshis could study.